Have you ever been there? A full-on level 10 meltdown because a crayon snapped? Or that flat-out nope when it comes to trying broccoli? It can be, well, baffling. But the book, The Yes Brain by Daniel Siegel and Payne Bryson gives us this amazing way to look at these moments. And it all starts with what's actually happening inside our kid's brain.
See, at the heart of their whole approach is this simple but really profound idea. Our brains, and especially our kids' brains, are pretty much always operating in one of two basic states. And just knowing which state your child is in, well, that can change everything.
Think of it like this. On one side, you have the no brain. That's survival mode, right? It's the slam doors, the I can't, the fear of even trying. It's totally shut down. But then on the other side, you have the yes brain. And that is the state of discovery. It's flexible, it's curious, it's resilient, it's open. So our goal as parents is to figure out how to spend less time fighting with that no brain and a lot more time nurturing that awesome yes brain.
So the big question is, how do we actually do that? Well, it's not some kind of magic trick, it's a method. The authors give us this really powerful framework that's built on 4 key fundamentals. Think of them like 4 pillars that we can use to literally build a yes brain in our kids.
Okay, first up, balance. A child just can't be in a yes brain state if their inner world is all chaotic and jumbled, you know? And balance isn't something kids are just born with. It's a skill. And when we teach it, we're creating the emotional stability they absolutely need before they can even think about being curious or resilient. And here's why this is so critical. Balance is the foundation for everything else. When a child's body and brain are regulated, they feel calm, they feel in control. You can think of it like a launching pad. Without that solid base, none of the other amazing skills we want for them can ever really take off. I love this visual because it makes it so clear. That green zone right in the middle, that's our goal. That's the yes brain state. But you know, life happens. Kids get overwhelmed and they shoot up into that chaotic red zone, or they get discouraged and kind of sink down into the shutdown blue zone. Now, our job isn't to prevent them from ever leaving the green. It's to teach them how to find their way back to it. And, over time, how to make that green zone even bigger and stronger.
So where do we even begin? With 2 things that are surprisingly simple. First, sleep. Seriously, it is non-negotiable for a regulated brain. And second, this idea of a healthy mind platter. It basically asks us to take a hard look at our family's schedule. Is it a balanced diet with different kinds of activities, or is it just a constant, frantic sprint from one thing to the next?
All right, so once we have that foundation of balance in place, we can start to build on it. And that brings us to our second fundamental, resilience. This isn't about helping our kids avoid hard things, it's about teaching them how to move through those challenges with real strength. Here's a great way to think about it. Balance is about getting back to the green zone after a setback today. Resilience is about making that green zone bigger for tomorrow. It's that long-term skill of bouncing back from whatever life throws at you, and that is going to serve them for their entire lives. And building resilience, it requires a huge mindset shift from us. The next time your child is acting out, try to see past the behavior itself. Ask yourself, what are they trying to communicate? A tantrum isn't just noise. It is a message, loud and clear. And when we stop just trying to silence the message and actually start listening to it, we can help them build the very skills they're telling us they need.
So how do we build up that inner strength? Well, it all starts with what the authors call the 4 S's, making sure our kids feel safe, seen, soothed, and secure. That's the bedrock. And then we can teach them mindset, which is basically the ability to see what's happening in their own minds. This gives them the incredible power to shift their perspective so they're no longer just a victim of their own big emotions.
And that ability to see inside your own mind leads us perfectly to fundamental number 3, insight. This is where we go beyond just managing emotions to truly understanding them. We're talking about the incredible power of self-awareness.
So insight is really the skill of self-knowledge. When a child can look inward and actually understand their own feelings, their own thoughts, they can use that information to make much better choices. It's the difference between being swept away by your impulses and, being the one who's actually steering the ship.
And here is the absolute game changer. The entire foundation of insight is learning how to create a pause, a little bit of space between a feeling and a reaction. In that tiny space, in that pause, that's where the power lies. The power to choose a response instead of just mindlessly reacting. Teaching our kids how to find and use that pause is one of the greatest gifts we could ever give them. So here are 2 brilliant ways to teach this. First, help them reframe difficulty. Ask this question:
Which struggle do you prefer? This totally transforms them from a victim of challenges to the person who gets to choose them. And second, use a fun metaphor like the red volcano. You teach them to notice those internal rumbles before the big eruption, giving them a chance to use that all-important pause.
And that brings us to our fourth and final fundamental, empathy. Because once a child can understand their own inner world, they develop the capacity to understand the inner world of others. This is that crucial, amazing shift from just thinking about me to understanding we.
Now, this is key. Empathy isn't just feeling sorry for someone. It's really a two-part skill. Part one is understanding another person's point of view, and part two is caring enough to actually do something about it. It's that combination of understanding and action that creates real, meaningful empathy.
And just like the other fundamentals, empathy can totally be taught. We can help kids fine-tune their empathy radar by pointing out social cues they might be missing. We can give them the actual words to use to express care. And we can intentionally help them expand their circle of concern, moving from just caring about family to caring about their community and eventually the wider world.
So what happens when we put all these pieces together? Balance, resilience, insight, and empathy? What do we get? We get a child who is developing a strong, reliable internal compass that will guide them through their entire life.
And here it is, the whole framework in one shot. We start with the stability of balance. From that solid ground, we build the strength of resilience. Insight then gives our kids self-awareness, and empathy connects them to others. It really is a powerful roadmap for raising a curious, courageous, and kind human being.
So let's end with this one powerful question. Which struggle do you prefer? This question just reframes everything. It shifts challenges from things that just happen to us to things we actually get to choose. The struggle of practicing piano, or the struggle of not knowing how to play? The struggle of doing your homework now, or the struggle of getting a bad grade later? It's a question that builds both insight and resilience, and it empowers both you and your child as you build that yes brain together.